What do you want? I'm just trying to eat my breakfast here. What a way to start off this COVID and coffee. Good morning, everybody. This is COVID and Coffee. You might be watching this as a recording. This is episode number 21. We are back on DragBug. What I had done was throughout the day yesterday. Good morning, Michael Dyke. What's happening with you? You're first. Yeah. But anyways, Asterian, what's happening? So yesterday was like one of those what do they call it, a debacle or whatever. I don't know what you call it. Kind of like James Beeman, what's happening? Sergeant J, what's happening? So my issues with Apple are, is that like how you should always start, like whenever you're going to talk about like an iMac or a MacBook Pro or whatever? Do you like start the conversation with my issues with Apple are? So every time Apple does these little updates and patches and all this other stuff, there's always the potential that it's going to affect software that, you know, you had on your computer where everything was working mint. And now because, I don't know, Apple decided to make it so whatever programs that you have that are not Apple programs, that they no longer function. Or at least they function so poorly that I think you want to get, I think they try and like get you upset so that maybe you either, I don't know, dump your computer, buy a new one because you're thinking, oh, maybe, you know, my computer's slow because it's old, or yeah, I don't know. So I decided to go into my CAD software, and I haven't touched my CAD software for I don't know, maybe 6 months. I actually don't remember. Could be 4 months, could be 6 months, but I just haven't touched it in a while. So I wanted to make that 3D part for the bottom of DragBug. Now, I probably could have made it out of a piece of wood like within minutes compared to how long it took to make this 3D printed part that works, but because of 3D printing and I don't know, you have to like account for things. So you have to almost account for the part kind of semi shrinking in weird like ways or whatever, if that makes any sense, because it's extruded hot, and if you're trying to get it like within a sheet of paper's dimension, you kind of need to leave some gaps, or you need to leave some room. So we 3D printed a part, and I wasn't completely satisfied. It was weird. When I designed the part, I designed it like as a basic part. And then I thought to myself, I'm like, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it as like a draft. So that way I'm not like wasting time and, you know, tons of filament or however it works. It's not really tons of filament, but whatever. So I sliced it up, you know, I designed it, sliced it, and it was like 57 minutes to create this part. And I'm like, wow, that sounds like a long time. So I increased the infill to 100. So instead of doing like a fake part, you know, where it was, you know, pretty much hollow inside just to get your outer dimensions and make sure everything was all set, it only added like 16 minutes onto the print. So it was like, what's the difference? What's the difference between this part and this part? And then all of a sudden on the bottom, it popped up that there was an update to Cura. Beyond all that, talking about my CAD software, my CAD software was not functioning. I was losing my mind. Like, what would happen is I'd create a design, I'd locate holes, and I'd you know, relocate the other holes, do the dimensions, you know, like the whole measuring of everything to try and get like things in line. And I'm probably doing it all wrong. There's probably like way faster ways to do this, which is why it took me more than half the day to try to figure this out. And then I realized that it was probably Apple. Like something about whatever the last update was made it so that parts of my program were not like functioning anymore or something. I have no idea. Anyways, we're gonna jump upstairs real quick. I did get a 3D printed part printed up on DragBug, but I want to take you guys upstairs. I actually haven't, so since last night, like 11:30 or whatever time it was, I had hit print on the second, so part number 2, I had hit print on that second part, and I literally just walked away and went to sleep. So the part printed up overnight. I haven't even gone in to check it out, so let's go check it out. So I'm gonna take you upstairs. I'm gonna check out that part. And obviously, it's kind of weird how I'm doing this because, like, this is what I'm saying about, you know, this is what I'm saying about my failures in my channel. Like, I'll 100% admit, you know what I mean? I've got nothing to lose here. This is just 3D printing and design and fail, and I feel like I'm confident that this next part is gonna work, but yeah, I don't know. Let's go check it out. All right. Yeah, actually, it's outside. Do you want to grab it? Because that's something I actually want to address. Can you bring it in here? It's right on the table. So my wife is actually going to be using the office right now, so let's open this up here. So here here are a couple of failures, and you can see what happened is it started to release, and the reason why it released this stuff right here. So I decided I got lazy, and I went ahead and I got this hairspray out of my wife's cabinet. And I thought, you know, hairspray is hairspray. Well, apparently it's not. I guess this must be like strength 3 or something like that. When most of the time, this is what I use to spray onto the print bed. Now that piece actually looks like what it should look like. I hope. But yeah, I don't know. I guess not all hairspray is like the same. So, and I have no idea. I don't know the difference between hairsprays and all that other stuff. Hey, hon. Thank you. So I'm gonna just take that part off right now, and I'll show you what's going on with the piece that I made. Obviously, there's one other issue that I did account for, but the problem is I don't have screws for it, and you'll get it. Like, as soon as I start prying this piece off, you'll be like, oh, yeah. So I'm just going to take this. We're going to pry it off. We're going to pry it off. Here, you know what? I'm going to put you down. Try to put you down so you can actually see stuff, though. That's not going to work. Well, anyways, somehow I got to pry this off. Wow, that is really on there. You want to there we go. You want to talk about locking it down? That definitely locked it down. So you can see we got a groove in there that we got to take off. This part actually printed. This part actually printed what I call mint. So this is that adapter plate. I'm going to bring these couple of pieces out just to show you what happened. But I do love this printer. This thing has actually been running ever since they stopped. So it's been... Has that been on? Yeah, it's been on for 9 hours and 50 minutes. So it only took an hour and 28 minutes, I think, to print the part, but it's been on for 9 hours and 50 minutes. So we'll just shut that thing off. This thing's a great printer. This is This is a Creality CR10S, and I've got, you know, a bunch of filaments. I actually have a brand new print plate for it that I just haven't installed yet. It's one where apparently I won't have to actually use this stuff anymore, I think. But yeah, let's go. You got 3D print stuff there. Sergeant J, you might like that right there. That's actually an original. That you probably know that as being real. That was actually, you know, that was actually my grandfather's. So that's why I keep all my special stuff in there. But I've got wood filament. It's actually supposedly really wood. I got black. We got red. We got like fluorescent colors. We got clear. I don't even know what. Oh, purple or blue or whatever that is. But I love the gold. For some reason, it's like literally, it's like the sheen when it's in the sun. You know what I mean? It's just got a nice sheen to it. It's like having, you know, gold pieces. It's gold bars here. All right, so we're going to go back outside. We're going to check out the differences between the two parts. Obviously, this piece right here, this is version 2. Version 1 was not a fail. It was pretty close, but just not close enough to what I wanted as far as fitment. It was really close. I'm just hoping that the modifications that I made last night make a difference. So rotate my device. Why? All right. How do I do this? Put that in there. Am I doing this right? Something doesn't look right. Forget how to set up this camera. I think it's like this, right? Yeah, today is a wind chime morning. I think I had it set up like that. I don't know. Something like that. I should probably eat my breakfast too. Not you guys need to see me eat my breakfast, but I am hungry. Wheelie BAH, you know it. BAH. Has to be gold bar, you know it. Earl, you literally, you're so on board with all the things that were going on in my head. Wheelie BAH that's made out of a gold bar. BAH. Earl, I don't know if you sounded, are you mad, bro? You sounded like very irritated about the servo. Whoa. The only reason why I say that is because I don't think you've ever ended a video abruptly like you just did. The comparison on the servos. So anyways, I'm gonna jump in. I want to obviously hit comments first. I just want to say hello to everybody. I just did we're talking about carrier setting updates. I don't want any of that. See, my trying to update, which is probably going to make every single app that is in there not function right. Be quiet, you. All right, so who was first? So I knew Michael Dyke was first, and obviously Asterian. Sergeant J's here. James Beeman. Ping is here. WNY Outdoor Adventure RC. What is happening? Turkey hunting? You should be turkey hunting. Big Papa Paul's is here. Chuck G. Sergeant, you're at Sergeant. Did you see that thing that I was talking about? I'm just curious if you saw it, because I didn't see. I obviously wasn't seeing any comments. Maybe you didn't see it. Well, anyways, who else do we got here? We got I cannot read that name. Giancarlo Medeiros? Kirchi? Good morning. I'm sorry I just destroyed your name. I really don't like wrecking people's names. Earl Moorhead is here. Who else? Justin O'Neill. Mitchell's RC is here. Riff to the Raft. Good morning. You would just what? You said what? Good morning, everyone. I was just going to sleep. What? Guy, you gotta fix your time schedule, man. Wheelie BAH. Wheelie BAH. Right. James George ran my DB Pro yesterday. Diff's working great. Changed to. That's awesome, man, James. Kevin Marino, good morning. How are you? Kind of almost wanted to talk to you a little bit, Kevin, just like because, obviously you had said if I switched over to Mod 1, I would have 0 issues. The only thing is the unknowns are the spur gear, because obviously I'd have to switch the spur gear as well, but I want to test it like as is, and then the whole thing about DragBug is basically I'm going to push this car as much as I can within its, stock-ish form. And then from there, like what we, know is just keep pushing just to see how far this thing can go. And then inevitably either the thing's gonna, catch on fire or it's gonna crash and be absolutely no good. Gus's Custom Creations is here. Good morning to you. I'm upset because using the same part number and the part works different. It's so slow. Yeah, but is that because did they up the power inside the ESC, feeding the servo more juice? Is that the issue? Because you got to wonder that too. Because they definitely shouldn't have, if they changed this, the wind chimes. There's actually a wind chime that's like right above you guys. I know you can't see it, but there's wind chimes all on my deck. How many did I say we had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 wind chimes right out front here. So it can get pretty crazy when there's a bad storm. Why is this saying update? Why does it keep wanting me to update? Carrier setting update. New settings are available. Would you like to update? I already said no. And it popped up again. All right. I'm hungry. My breakfast is getting cold. My breakfast is actually cold again. Thank you, Kevin. I'd appreciate that. My wife actually, should borrow a napkin. My wife actually made homemade blueberry muffins this morning. And she said she made them with yogurt and almond milk. Granted, I don't know how. I have no idea how stuff is made like that. How do you make a muffin? You need like flour and ingredients. I don't know. But they're good. They're wicked good. My wife is killing me. Here I am I gotta lose a couple pounds, and here she is constantly just making this awesome food. I'm not sure the ESC shows 6 volts on both, but the programming seems different. But the new Extreme kit doesn't come with a radio or servo. It always gets cold. Yeah. The only thing though is it's timing. Because I don't tell my wife what to do. Are you kidding me? So, like I say, I'm always happy to just eat. I'm like, anytime my wife feeds me, I'm appreciative. And I know it's rude to eat on camera, but maybe I should just not eat, and maybe I should just talk about my parts. So I'm sure you could probably see that, right? This is what's called a failed print. Put it on here. This is a failed print. Can you see it? The other camera actually would probably work better. See how when you hold it, I got it flat on one section. What happened was the print starts to peel away, and that's where not all hairspray, apparently, not all hairspray is equal. So I usually use that locket, but I was just lazy. I didn't want to go down to the shop, which is 2 floors away, to grab hairspray to spray the thing, so I paid the price. Now this one, I'm gonna switch on to the back camera. Nice print. Yeah, I love that. I really actually do love that printer. It's a great printer. I'm gonna switch you guys around to the other camera. I want to get you down low here, if I can. Oh, that's today's project right there. See that green car in the driveway? That's a 97 XJR supercharged. It needs oxygen sensors, 4 of them. I tell you, I don't Jag because Jaguars are an electrical air, especially the old ones. There is, like, to see the wiring in a Jag. Oh my God, like, it's got wires in places that, like for me, I'm just used to, I don't know, I'm used to regular cars, not Jags. And Jaguars are like, they've got wires everywhere. Do you know what I'm saying? Earl, you probably know about Jaguars, man. I hate working on them. They're just a pain. It's like stuff that you wouldn't think should have a sensor, has a sensor or a wire going to it. It's like, why is there a goddamn wire or a sensor going to the door hinge? You know what I mean? Like, I'm obviously being exaggerating. Why does the car's trim have sensors on it? You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell? Yeah, Jags are a nightmare. Anyways, stop. It keeps asking me to update. I don't want to. All right. So let's get this stuff out of the way. Get that. You guys hungry? Huh? Is that nice? Got some nice bacon right there. We got what's this? Omelet with cheese. Well, obviously it's gonna have cheese in it. Tomato and spinach. So this was the first, I guess you could call this the first iteration or the first design for the Wheelie BAH. BAH. Hopefully you can see that. Now everything worked great. But the one thing that I knew that I didn't have, which I was going to have to get after the fact, this was just a very basic initial design. It was just to get something 3D printed. It's got the channel, which this thing is locked in here. Like, I mean, that thing is not going to slip. So once these things are locked down, this goes nowhere. Now, I should have made... Holy smokes. I should have made, okay, so initial flaws in my design, which always happens. Number one, I didn't countersink in the software the holes deep enough, right? So while they're, you know, perfectly aligned, I didn't countersink, especially these two back ones, because for some strange reason, these holes right here would not duplicate to here. It kept on saying that there was an error in the surface that I clicked on, which didn't make any sense because when I made this design, this was just basically a square block, you know, measured, what was it? I actually decreased this, so we ended up going, I think, with 45. So this is 45 millimeters in width by 50 millimeters in length, and that was just so we could take this wheelie bar, and be able to put it all the way in to start like our tests, right? And then obviously you could incrementally go out further. I obviously didn't do the holes for the pin because I realized that I didn't need to, per the clamping strength of this, that you almost have to like take a hammer with a screwdriver and hammer that thing. I mean, it's pretty much like right there. So I didn't countersink these deep enough. That's number one. Number two, I must be like a 0.5 or whatever off of my dimensions for the screw holes because one side obviously is tight only because that dimension's just that slightest bit off, okay? Now this actually worked out pretty good. And yeah, there goes my screws. And obviously, you know, we can't see, like you can't see. You can't, actually, you can't see anything. The sunlight is killing this. Using the power of the sun. I'm gonna lower this a little bit. See if that'll change it at all. Yeah, I think the sun's just way too bright. Well, anyway. The concept of this wheelie bar, I feel like it's gonna work. Maybe I can just take you off of here. Like I'm saying, the concept or the idea of what's going on here, I feel like it'll work. Do you know what I'm saying? Because obviously that plate being slotted, it fits that, you know, absolutely perfect. For now, I actually am going to leave the free spinning. Oops. See, now I'm pressing buttons. I am going to leave this free spinning for now because I have a theory about this, and I want to see if my theory's right. So I am going to leave it just, you know, wiggling around. We'll see what happens. I will end up adding, like, obviously a drop of oil in here. I'll take the wheelie bar wheel off. I'll put a little bit of oil on that shaft right there. That way it's just a little bit more free spinning. I mean, it's not bad, but once this bar contacts, you know what I'm saying? Once it contacts, something's off here. I can change the height of the wheelie bar just a little bit, so I can raise it up, I can lower it. But so what I'm kind of getting at, like on the design, let me just pull it off real quick. Look at this thing keeps saying. It keeps asking me to update, and I literally keep saying no. Annoying. Apple pisses me off. So I can't even see if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. So get my Phillips screwdriver here. Now these screws are the original screws, so obviously they are 5 millimeters too short. What, I don't have a battery in here? Oh, isn't that awesome? It's not gonna work without a battery. Sweet. All right. Back again. So we'll put that battery in there. Rub more ahead. Most drag razors just leave a straight bar out the back, so you adding a wheel should work good. I hope so. This is, I mean, this isn't even a wheelie bar. But the whole point was, what I've got on hand, can I make it work? Do you know what I'm saying? I think that's why I like this, is that this is so redneck and just not fake, but so these screws literally, they're 5 millimeters too short now, and I knew that was going to be the case. The other issue is that these screws are they're a coarse thread, and I don't have any longer coarse thread screws. So that's part of my issue. So you can see what happens here. So that piece is actually slotted into the bottom, allowing me to be able to slide the wheelie bar, obviously back and forth, just gaining a little bit of, not a huge amount, but just, maybe you can only go like halfway and then you might not want to go any further, but it just gave, I guess, the wheelie bar an ability to be extended if for some reason I needed that to happen. So the issues with this print, obviously, the holes themselves, I probably could have made them like, I don't know, just the slightest portion bigger, maybe. I should have done a little bit better on the countersinking of these holes, but I didn't. So it's just all in that. It's all just in that learning process of designing or doing a print. Do you know what I mean? But isn't that nice though? Doesn't the gold just like have like that kind of like nice sheen to it? Like Earl said, it's a gold bar. So the difference between this one and this one, obviously you can see there's an obvious difference right away. Now, why did I curve these? Because that material, number one, that material wasn't needed. And I felt it would just give the part a better look. And yeah, I just felt like it, material wasn't needed. It would give it a better look. I even thought about scooping in the back end here as well to more conform to what's original on this chassis. But, I'm not gonna waste my time that much. So now I think I still messed up. So while the holes themselves are bigger, I still didn't countersink them deep enough. I didn't bevel I didn't countersink or bevel those holes enough. So the screws are just going to very mildly stick out, but yeah, whatever. So anyways, so this is obviously that breakaway piece. So there's always like a break. Stop updating. Man, it keeps telling me to update. I do not want to update this thing. It's driving me insane. Earl, did you, I'm assuming you answered. I can't. Muffin dump girl on trees. Lucas Electric Garbage. Jerry VRC, good morning. I'm just jumping into the comments real quick. You had an 88XJ6 in high school. It was a nightmare to work on, right? The front O2 sensors control the fuel. The rear only tells, right. But it's just like what happens is obviously I'm just going to replace all four. And I'm sure it's going to be a pain in the, we'll say pain in the neck. I've actually been into, not that car, but there's a convertible that I've done work on as well. And that one's also a nightmare. The BAH has been fitted exactly. It definitely, yeah. It looks like it works, but obviously I'm still waiting on the pinion, and that's what's killing me. Right, it was a good first try, right? Riff. Chuck G, do you have the springs for the tail gear? They'll keep the wheel straight, but still allow. I actually do have the springs, yes. And the thought was, if the wheel doesn't immediately right itself during the first couple of runs, I'll install those springs. Franken Beetle. There you go. I know. Better off using graphite so grit doesn't get stuck in the oil. Oops. Keep always hitting the wrong button here. I wish Dung Beetle wasn't already taken by Street Outlaws. It's not that much of a dung. It's DragBug. It's not that bad of a vehicle. Your Roku keeps asking me the same thing. I've already said, I don't know, 5 times, no thank you, and it just keeps popping up. That's Apple for you. Apple's trying to push just another update that's going to slow down my machine. Oh, Justin took off? Sorry about that. I didn't even see him take off. Shade Tree's here. What's happening? All right, I think I'm almost countersync with... Right, yeah, exactly. But it's I want to do it like the right way in CAD. You know what I mean? I can't believe I totally forgot. I screwed up. It was like that. I forgot again. I just can't believe I forgot again. I know, robots, right? Not to be fair. Now, when somebody asks, like Fox, you're asking a question like, "What's the best KV motor for a 1/8 buggy?" It's not just what's the best motor. It depends upon what you want out of it, where you're gonna run, how heavy it is. I want to be the... All right, Gus. Or a Moorhead. Oops. It's asking me to update again. Oh my God. I have said no thank you now 6 times. Not the funnest RCs on the shelf that you... You gonna go live tonight? That's the plan. The plan was to go live last night too, but that never ended up working. So I made just some slight modifications with this. I actually did find, and I don't know if I want to do this though. This is the part where I don't want to wreck DragBug. So originally it had coarse thread screws that hold it into the chassis, or actually hold the differential, the rear differential, into the chassis and the suspension. And I have coarse thread, but then I found fine thread screws that would probably actually reach all the way down. I just don't know if I want to rethread with fine thread. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like then I'm really wrecking what's going on inside. Then I'll have to drip in some Loctite. But this is the new piece, and all you have to do is just take like a flat blade screwdriver, and it should break out. It should break out pretty easy. Yeah, look at that. See how easy that little support brace just breaks out? Just like that. Look at that. I love the way this printer works. This printer is so awesome. So no, that is not a Kit Kat. You cannot eat that. Don't eat that piece. But doesn't that look at that? Doesn't that just look cool? Just the way the 3D printer just does stuff. Oh, you can't even see it. I'm telling you to look at it and you can't even see it. This is the throwaway part. You know what I mean? Makes you want to use it for something. I have no idea what to use it with, but do not eat. That's not a Kit Kat wafer. But here's the part. So first thing, obviously, want to check. I want to make sure that this slips inside. And it doesn't. What? Why doesn't it? Oh, yeah, it does. All right. It's just really tight. So there we go. That piece slips inside nice and tight, just like it should be. This piece was designed to go now this way, like that. I just want to locate the holes to see if... Oh, yeah, way better. So now these holes are where they should be. Did I already lose the screw? Oh, awesome. Where'd the screw go? There it is. So I'll just very lightly torque this down after I put the wheelie bar in there. So I'll slip in the wheelie bar. Now that's perfect. These screws just they don't bite enough into the transmission. That's the part that I'm worried about. Now look at that. See, they don't even bite at all. So I obviously need longer screws. I definitely should have corrected my not taper. I probably will, just because this piece is more of what I wanted as far as the adapter piece. I just need longer screws. So I probably will, like what Riff said. Just, you take a drill bit and just very carefully just drill it out. This is the thing with 3D print, because that's the other thing with 3D print. 3D print is somewhat oddly fragile in a way. So drilling it out, because it's layers, it might be better off sanding it out. Like if I took like one of those, what do they call that? A conical sander or something like that. One of the little grinding stones that you get on the Dremels that come to a point. And I could probably just, tap it right in the hole and get it to go down a little bit further. But the screws that I need now need to be 5 millimeters longer, or maybe 6, who knows. It should be 5 because that's the height. That's the actual height of the block itself, right? Yeah, I think that's the height of the block. I can't remember. Could be 6 millimeters, could be 5. I don't know. But yeah, so that's my adapter for DragBug. It's actually something that looks like it's gonna work. It's just the huge, and it's asking me again. Stop asking me. Right. See, Earl is saying it right there. As far as the KV motor stuff goes, it's determined on weight and how you're going to use it. Yes. What are you doing? You stealing my thing?
Do you need this?
No. Do you need this? Yeah, you taking all my tripod stuff. Do you need that or no?
No.
You got the other one?
Mm-hmm.
What you gonna do? Sam's Corner?
No.
No.
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. I know, James. I know, man. They make you want to have Chinese food. I know. All right, Riff. We'll see you later, man. You're on Philippine time at the moment? Yeah. That's gotta be rough too, man. That's got I feel bad for you. Wait a minute, what? I lost my Sun Reaper. You lost your Sun Reaper? But picked up a serpent? Sugar cookie. He will mount. I swear, Tinkerbell wind chimes are telling you something about DragBug. What? That it's magical? You're right. You're right, Earl. DragBug is magical, isn't it? DragBug's got pixie dust. What does pixie dust do anyway? Did pixie dust like heal things or fix things? I forget what pixie dust used to do. I know you can't see it, but my wife's car. It's funny that you say that. I'm gonna see if I can zoom in on it. It's just funny that you said. It's just funny that you said Tinkerbell. Right, so that's my wife's car right there. See, I still got the burnout box sitting right there. But look on her car. Where is it? Right there. What do you see right there? My wife actually likes Tinkerbell. Well, she likes those pixies, I guess. But that's also how she finds her cars. Because there's so many cars like that are the same, that's how she finds her car. How do I make it so that it zooms back out? There we go. There we go. Wind chimes are really ripping now. See? Everything rips at my house. The wind chimes even rip. So I definitely think that 3D print is what I call the ticket. That definitely a lot better. I will end up probably sanding those holes out just because. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to wait another hour and a half or whatever to make a 3D print and waste filament for no reason when I already know that piece is actually perfect. So we have the mount for DragBug. I just need to get longer screws. I have no idea where I'm going to get those from. I'm not going to drive all the way down to my local hobby store just to get screws. I'll figure something out. Maybe I will take these fine thread screws and just use those. The only thing too is these are those button head ones, so that's the other negative. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Check this out. What? Where's my mind sometimes? Check this out. I do have longer ones, but these are also fine thread. But they're the tapered ones. Or flathead, whatever you want to call them. It is literally asking me to update again. Stop asking me to update. Wood screws, right? Could just get some sheetrock screws and just like slam them right in there. You know, hollow that thing out. Cross-threading is better than Loctite, right? Fine thread bite better into plastic. Yeah, I guess. Oh man. I think it all depends. It all depends upon stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I will use those. Earl, maybe you're convincing me. Because like I said, I could just take, if I do find other screws that are more appropriate for this. But the whole thing is, too, is I've got time. My pinions aren't going to be here until... Let's see what the update... Because I had to buy my pinions through Amazon. And, no, yeah, my pinions. I tried the local hobby shop first. But, you know, I kind of knew that they weren't going to have anything. But at least I tried them, you know what I mean? And I also tried another local hobby store, which with their attitude, that's the last time I'm calling them. I'm good. I am good. So I actually have more. All right, so the pinions are supposedly arriving Thursday now. Hasn't even shipped yet. How do they know it's coming? How do they say it's arriving Thursday? So it hasn't even shipped yet. So typical Amazon issues, like we all know. If whoever's ordering online stuff, you know you're having issues trying to get anything shipped. I was actually in contact with that guy that I sent out those parts to, or that part for his kaiju. He still hasn't received it. I really hope it's not lost in the mail, because I just did it just to be nice. I felt bad for the guy. He literally had just got his kaiju, and then he broken up an arm, and I had a couple of them, so I was just like, dude, just private message me your address, and I'll just send it out. And it was like, I don't know. And now it's been, I sent that out, on the 22nd? I forget what date I sent it out. I sent it out 2 Saturdays ago, and he still hasn't, was it 2 Saturdays ago? And he still hasn't received it. Let's see. Was it 2 Saturdays ago? No. I sent it out on the 18th. Right? I'm lost. Whatever it was, I sent it out a long time ago. And he still hasn't got it. And I'm thinking it's just point blank lost in the mail. They probably just were taking mail and just like burning it or throwing it in the trash or something. I have no idea. Impacted in? Yeah, your Red Cat, the Camo X4? Still hasn't shipped. It's definitely lost in the mail. The post office has been losing a lot of mail. That sucks, man. The insane part is the guy lived 1 state away from me. And my guess was, because I even said to him, I'm like, you know, kind of jokingly, because I really wasn't thinking the mail would be this much of an issue. But I told him, I just was like, you can either like come and get it and have the part today, or I can put it in the mail, and who knows how long who knows how long it'll take because of all this COVID crap. I feel bad. It's literally asking me again to update. RC Superstore delivered 2 summits, back-to-back, 2-day shipping, about 4 days apart. Some stuff been taking forever, but other stuff been 3 to 4 days. Yeah. Yeah, drywall screws. Yeah, I mean, it's any kind of screw will work, right? Just, we're talking Red Cat here, and if I was to go ahead and thread a 1-inch drywall screw into that, which I do have, yeah, I think it would more break stuff than anything. It's a small differential case. And plus, the 3D print they don't take very kindly to oversized screws trying to screw them in, depending upon how thick the 3D print is. Well, all right. Shade Tree. You know he's a welder, right? Kevin Talbot. He like that used to be what he did. What is all that noise? Oh, my wife must be closing the door. She's closing the door on me. Stay out. But when you think about it, Tevin, Kevin's got, obviously he's got the finances to be able to not care. I mean, it's obvious. Who in their right mind can do what he does and not be financially pained by it? You know what I mean? So I think his wrenching, to be honest with you, is more along that lines of, I'm just going to use what I've got, and if it doesn't work, I'll just buy a new part. You know what I mean? I think that's more along the lines of what it is. I don't think it's that he's not a good mechanic. He doesn't care. He just wants to get it done. It builds content for his channel as well. He's smart in the way he thinks about certain things. Because let's put it this way, okay? Has anybody in this chat right now, and I know you're probably not listening to me, but has anybody in this chat right now heard of or watched any videos from Whistling Diesel? Anyone? Bueller? I'm just curious. I know there's like a 5-second delay, but I'm just curious. Does anybody in here heard of or watched videos from Whistling Diesel? No? Demo RC you have? So Demo RC, what has caused his channel to explode? Earl, what's caused his channel to explode? Right. But it's not only that truck, it's the fact that he literally just doesn't give a rat's A-double-Z about any of what he's doing, meaning he's point blank doing it for the views, he's doing it for the content, because he knows that people eat it right up. So the same thing goes along the lines with Kevin Talbot. Kevin's, maybe in the beginning he didn't have like as much funding as he's got now, but right now, for him to drop $10,000 on RC cars and parts is nothing to him. You know what I mean? Because he's at that different level. He's grown not only his YouTube channel, but obviously, I don't know anything about his eBay business, so, I don't know. It's something that, he talks about a lot, and it's probably, he says it's making the millions or whatever it is, and that's awesome. But just talking about literally the content. So if I did that to every RC that I owned, if I I mean, my wife would absolutely kill me. But if I said, how many crashes will it take to get this RC? Like, take my DBXLE and set up a ramp that's faced to my house and say, how many times will it take for me to full speed rip through my front door? Do you know what I mean? Like, people would watch that and people would be like, have all the different camera angles, slow everything down. Every time the RC would, fail and maybe hit like the middle metal bar and then just keep going and keep going. You know what I mean? People would eat that up. People would eat it up if I, you know what I mean? It's just crazy what people do. Stop asking me to update. Right, destroying that night truck. I don't have the money to not care, but I'm still... Right. Wrecking trucks, giveaways. Do the same thing. It's fun too, right. It was a nice truck, right. Just shared his latest vid. Harley Davidson, #1 tool, the hammer. Is there a video or chart I can use? Oops. Is there a video or chart I can use to find out what these standards are for four-wheel drive or anything? Let's see. What? What? Oh yeah. The flowers? Yeah, they've been slowly growing there. They actually came from over here, on this side, down there, on that other level where the trash barrel is. No, it's not. It's not that stuff. It's a different one. It's a real small flower.
Tulips too.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't plant those.
We've got some good-sized tulips coming too.
I didn't plant.
Amped RC, what's happening, man? If you actually watch his videos, he goes to Pat a lot for help. Pat rebuilds his TRX wall. Okay. You also need to think about this too, though. He's got the ability to do it, but he doesn't have the time. Every moment that he takes that's a waste of time not building the real content that people want to see. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he has to take the time to... I've even realized it. I'm a slacker. When it comes to videos, like today. Today, I could be smashing my DBXLE through my front door. But why aren't I? Because I've got to work on a 1997 Jaguar. I could be ripping RCs. I could have been flying the other day because there was no wind, but you've got like... Until your job can afford you to have more time to mess around, you know what I mean? But like, it's just that like I was saying, that whole Whistle and Diesel thing. His channel exploded because he just did I don't care nutty stuff. And then he realized that, wow, this can actually pay out. If I take a $120,000 SEMA truck and destroy it piece by piece, this is going to get me so many views. It's also got him some hate, but the hate versus the views, I mean, he blasted off of the charts with that, destroying that SEMA truck. It's asking me to update again. That's why I don't like Apple, man. Leave me alone. I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. You know why, Terry? Because you were late. This thing started, I don't know, what, 9:15? We're coming up on... You're an hour late, guy. That's why. Right. But Earl, I'm just curious. For content-wise, think about your dragster. I can't see the stats on your channel, obviously. But how well did your dragster video do? I bet your dragster video was pretty damn popular, is my guess. But think about it. If I did something just outrageous, like built a ramp to literally jump my house with the DBXLE, do you know how many hits that would get? Of course, I'd be crying because I don't have that kind of money to just buy a whole new DBXLE, because that's probably what would happen. Not really, but if I'm having a hard time getting a damn pinion, if I'm having a hard time getting a pinion for DragBug, could you imagine how hard it would be to revive the DBXLE? The thing is, though, Ronnie, if I update it, the whole thing's going to shut down. Oh! I'm eating bacon. Tony from CCXRC, right? Here's another video to think about. I'm wondering how well did his video do where he took what RC did he take? Was it the Creighton 6S that he jumped to see if he could get spitting pieces of bacon here? Whatever it was, they had a metal chassis that he did his super jump with and tried to clear his backyard fence. Now, my assumption is that video's got to be doing good because he was going to do something that people knew. You full well knew. Just based upon how many times he did jump, you full well knew that if he stayed in that throttle, that thing was going to hit. It was going to hit that top bar. It most likely was not going to clear that fence. So I forget. I thought it was the 6S. I'm probably wrong. I have no idea, but I did watch the video, and I wonder how well did that video do. It's like, what do people love watching other people's pain. Like when you see, like what do they used to have, that blooper show, right? When people get hurt, people laugh. You're not happy that the person got hurt, but you're laughing at the situation, kinda. And sometimes you're like, ooh, you know what I mean? That stuff gets the views. It's just nuts. It's nuts how it is. But that is what it is. Update again. Like the 20th time. It was an Irma Typhon. Yeah. The way it's hooking up right now, the diff is actually really good right now, just the way it is. Just got another notification that Hybrid just uploaded a video. Yeah, good. There's no reason to talk smack about anybody. Ronnie. He's where he is for a reason, and he does a very good job at it, you know? Saw a video a while back where he jumped over his barn. Right. Ridiculousness. The show Ridiculousness. Right. Yep. Time differences are what, an hour or two over here. When California bashers rip our cities, take it to the limit. Northern Cali with Rich Duper Dash. Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually on the other side of I'm on the other side of the United States from you, Terry. Terry, right now it is 10:26. I actually live in America's hometown. Right, exactly. But everybody, and that's the way it works. That's the way it works all around. James George, what was the six and Creighton success? The one that he jumped? Build it, break it, fix it. What's going on? Right, you love to see people overpowering things. What the heck was that? Right. Kevin Talbot when he did the 6S to the TRX4. Yeah, it was crazy. Oh, I don't think I finished talking to you, Shade Tree. So with the way this, I obviously didn't film it well. I had my phone set on the wrong settings. Because I wasn't using a head mount, part of the you couldn't see what my eyes were seeing. So with DragBug in its current configuration with the diff, the rear diff, it actually hooks so far, it hooks up and drives straight. And I think the best part of using these crawler wheels for this build and using them as drag wheels, it gives a certain amount of realism once the car has got speed. Because if you've ever watched real drag racing, whether it's funny car, top fuel, or regular dragsters, what's the first thing that you notice other than the sound, which is awesome? But what's the first thing you noticed about when the car is either doing a burnout, staging, after it, whatever, after it's done its burnout, it rips it. But what's the first thing you notice about the rear tires? It's asking me to update again. I'm just gonna update it. It's just gonna totally destroy it. So, what happens to the rear tires? They obviously get tall. Now, that's obviously not the tread pattern that's getting tall, because the way the tires are designed, it's obviously the sidewalls allowing the tire to grow tall, in a sense. A certain amount of that center still remains intact with the road. Now, when I gave it a couple of fast rips along this street that's in front of my house, what I saw in footage, when I slowed it down in post, What I actually saw was I saw the rear of the vehicle planting when I'd give it full beans. The rear of the vehicle would give a squat. The tire would flatten out on the pavement. And you could literally see, it was really hard to see. That's why I didn't keep the video going. But the sidewall loaded up, which is exactly what I was hoping would happen. But when I did a couple of those real fast runs, obviously what you guys couldn't see was the tire was getting nice and tall. And it made it, it literally gave this car a more realistic run. And I think that's what I'm liking about this whole thing. So once I've got the pinion in there, once I hopefully go into the ESC, it is one of the lower grade hobby wing ESCs. Once I go into the ESC and start doing, like minimal tuning that, can happen on that thing, I can obviously put the punch up. I think the punch can only go to like punch level 4 or something like that. I think like out of the box it's like 3 or whatever. I'm not sure. I've never actually thrown a programmer on this particular vehicle. That's why I'm saying a certain amount of this is still staying stock. We're just doing the conversions to get it, number one, to two-wheel drive, skinny tires on the front, shifting obviously weight around, putting a wheelie bar on it, trying different tires and wheels to see if we can maximize grip and overall, like I said, in my mind, I wanted to see those tires grow, and they did grow. And I just, when it got down to the end, when it was doing its little sketchiness down by the end of the strip, the drag strip, I think that's the part that it just gave like that more realistic drive, or more realistic feeling. So, and plus the whole process of just doing this, it's definitely cool. There's a certain cool factor that I feel like DragBug kind of has, in a way. For me anyway. That's all I'm saying. Jeffrey, hey, good morning. Right. Right, shade tree. Right, if it hooks and goes, right, exactly. And I think, surprisingly, the hardest thing about drag racing is launching, and then the worst part is stopping. Right. Stopping distance hasn't gotten longer. Baking bread, the house smells, so yeah. But if any of you guys, obviously, all you guys, I think that this channel is just doing kind of two challenges. One is obviously a burnout challenge, and then the other one is obviously, challenging you to, I say obviously make a drag bug, but that's only because of, it's just what the title of mine is called, drag bug. But just take something that is not designed or was never intended to be a drag racing vehicle, such as what Earl did. His vehicle, the initial creation of that thing, it was not designed to be a drag race vehicle, but look what he did. He converted it into a drag race vehicle. He used parts that he had on hand. Granted, Earl's parts on hand are an RC Superstore anyway, so you already knew that Earl's drag build was going to be top notch anyway. So I just think it's funny. I could not believe when you were looking for parts for your drag build conversion, you were just opening up like these cases that just literally just had every imaginable, like everything in it. It's like, Earl, you probably have the screws that I need. You probably have them somewhere. I already looked. I know I don't have them. I don't know. I wish I had the pinions, because that's number one. That's what killed my challenge right there, because I can't go any further. I can't test out my wheelie bar. You know? Wheelie BAH. It's killing me. I bet you do. Although, Earl, for some reason, I feel like I doubt you would have that pinion. It's that mod 0.6. It's not like a very, I don't think it's a widely used pinion. Both hobby stores that, obviously around here, not that they didn't know what mod 6 was, but obviously with the way the guy reacted from Centerline Hobbies in Hyannis, his attitude when I just asked him what I was looking for. Even the way he answered his phone. Yeah, I'm good. Whatever. You could build a time machine, right? Right. Mod 0.6 is odd, but I'd convert the opinion and spur to something. Right, and with your stock, you would be able to do that. And I've looked into current vehicles that I already have to see if I could fit some, but I'm also limited to for the spur that's in there. I looked into one of my other Red Cats. It's got a plastic spur gear. I really don't want to go that route. So, obviously, me just waiting, I'll have to wait. And then the other thing, number one, I think the problem is it being a Red Cat. It's got these oddities about sizing. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the hex adapters that I tried to adapt onto it, they won't adapt because they're like the 0.5 millimeter difference. Like it needs to stick out just like 0.5 of a millimeter more, half a millimeter more, in order for those 17 millimeter hexes to go onto the axles. And then even the axle shafts themselves, they're just a different size. You know what I'm saying? And this is because it's one of the older Red Cats, I think. I think the newer Red Cats, maybe things are getting a little bit better as far as that's concerned. But I also didn't want to just turn this into, I didn't want to turn it into just, buying new parts and throwing all new parts into it. I just wanted to see, within its own capabilities, keep that spur gear on there, just eat it, and just get another pinion, wait another 3 weeks for a pinion gear, which stinks, but it is what it is. I still think it's coming out pretty good. I mean, when you think about the restrictions that I'm placing on myself, I could just go down to, whatever, the hobby store and buy a whole new transmission and just bolt it on with some sheetrock screws. You know what I mean? Just, I don't know, but I want to try to be minimalist, which is probably going to end up costing me more in the long run. But I'm also keeping like for the final video, what I'm doing is I'm keeping like a tally. So once this thing is to the point of launching straight, I think that's where the build will stop. Like at least for me, the challenge kind of stops there. Once I get this thing to actually launch straight, I think I'll just stop it there and then just mod the car then beyond that, and then to the point of where I'm not going to throw a new, well, I don't want to throw a new ESC and motor in there. I suppose if I did, I could always use it for something else, but budget build, redneck, you know what I mean? Within your means. Demo RC, you're at mod 1. It's funny. My neighbors know I have a YouTube channel. They see me outside. How's your YouTube channel going? It's going pretty good. Oh, that's funny. Right, exactly, with your front wheels, exactly. Being a budget build. And that's what I had pointed out, was that even though Earl has an RC Superstore, you still were restricting yourself on that build, because you didn't just go out and just buy new wheels and, a 500 horsepower motor for it. You know what I mean? You literally restricted yourself on that build too, which was great. That was cool. That definitely was cool to see that. Front wheels being so small and the back wheels being, yeah, exactly. Yep. But I think you had a good time, messing around with it. Obviously you ended up having transmission issues, but that was probably going to be a no matter what anyway, right? Was the transmission already blown and you just didn't know? Or because it seemed like initially it worked out all right, but then, like, what, on your second pass or your third pass, the transmission just blew out? Right. You followed the rules, right? Even though you had thousands of parts that you could have just jammed in there. Right. Marcus Kingtree, RC Cars, what's going on? Good morning to you as well. First day out, I did. Oh, you're talking about. 100% making a video when my Losi gets in. Right, Jerry? Definitely. The trans was broken from the start. I ran that. Oh! Okay. You ran that transmission on 8S? Oh my God. Because it sounded pretty good when you first started ripping it. Like I was saying, like the first couple, wasn't it like the third pass or whatever it was? Second pass or whatever that you did that all of a sudden it was just junk? That's funny. You broke it years ago. You're an animal. 8S. Holy crap. Yeah, it's really not an 8S transmission, is it? Yeah, it is a very nice day. Actually, Joe Daddy's Garage, look what I get to work on later. Uh, 1997 Jaguar XJS Nightmare. Shouldn't be that bad, though. We'll see. The trans was rebuilt by the time I ran it. Yeah. Those Jaguars, they're beauties. They're beauts. Beauties to work on. There was a build called Zebra, a speed car trans on 8S went 108 into a wall. Holy smokes. I can't see what that little icon is. What is that little triangle icon? Is it like a caution? Excuse me. All right. Well, I think I'm actually going to wrap this COVID and coffee up this morning, because it being such a beautiful day, and I do have to work on that 97 Jaguar. I know I'm going to need a couple minutes with that thing today. So, anyways, we did 3D print. We did make our test print. So our first print ended up failing prematurely, but that was because I used the wrong glue for the bed. I was just too lazy to go get the other one. We did make this 3D print adapter for the wheelie bar. This does work. However, the screw locations were not exact where the screw locations on the new one. We just redesigned it just a little bit more, changed it up, gave it some, got rid of some material that we didn't need. Now the only thing we need longer screws, coarse thread, so I don't just destroy the whole transmission. But I just need screws that are 5 millimeters longer, just so that, to mix up for the material that I added for this little adapter right here. This really is not a wheelie bar, but technically it is right now. This is a scale tail gear for an airplane, and this is what I'm using for the wheelie bar for DragBug. It was just something that I had on hand. I didn't even know that I had it. I feel like it's going to work. I'm going to leave it loose for now. I do have the springs that you attach to the left and right side of the steering for that, so that if by chance it doesn't do what my mind thinks that the wheelie bar is going to do once it contacts, which it should. It shouldn't do anything other than what my mind says that it's going to do. But we do have the springs, but the intent is to kind of leave it, free spinning for now. And literally all we're doing is waiting on pinion gears. Wow, that's a lot of stuff being delivered. Right now I'm just waiting on, I say pinion gears, we're just waiting on one pinion gear. I do want to throw a 26 tooth back in here and then get ripping on DragBug. I feel right now in its current, based upon what I saw before I wrecked that 48 pitch tooth pinion gear, which was the wrong pitch, DragBug was actually hooking up really well. And yeah, with those crawler tires, it kind of gives it a, like I was saying, kind of almost gives it a more scale kind of ish feel. Um, Hooks up nice and hard, and so far goes straight with the way the diff is locked right now, semi-locked. So, anyways, like I always say, you like these episodes from RC Guy Garage, COVID and Coffee Morning Check-In. This was episode 21. We may do a live tonight. The intent was to do a live last night, but that just didn't work out. But the intent will to do a live tonight, and maybe we'll see you then. I'm just going to jump into the chat real quick, just see who's here, say goodbye to everybody, and like I always say, just get out there and rip it. And yeah, just pay attention to this COVID stuff. Wear your mask if you've got to. So we had Shade Tree RC, Chuck G is here, Jerry VRC, Earl Moorhead, James George, Joe Daddy's Garage, Chuck G, I think I said that already. Yep. Barbecue was here. I think I said James George. Marcus Kingtree stopped in for a bit. I think Gus's Custom Creations was here. Ronnie Willis, Demo RC, Chief Gunny. I didn't even see, did I even notice that you were here? Chief Gunny was here. Nobody No One popped in. And I believe that's just about it. Jeffrey Hay. Looking up through the chat. It looks like I'm pretty caught up. Terry was here for a little bit, I think. Amped RC was here. Build It Exit popped in. And looks like that is about George Silman. George Silman, you were here. So, yeah, Demo RC. So, like I always say, just get out there and rip it and be kind to everybody and do your part with this coronavirus garbage. It is slowly. I think for my location, it's still. I think it's actually bumping up slowly, because I think our governor is thinking about doing a mandatory mask thing. I think in public situations. So I think that's what I heard. I don't really fully pay attention to the news. I usually watch the news just for the weather, but seeing it all, this coronavirus is literally every single day, every hour of the day. Maybe coming here can kind of maybe get away from that, even though I'm giving a reminder about it right now. Anyways, like I always say, thank you, everybody. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up on the way out if you haven't already. If you are not a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps. And yeah, DragBug. It's a converted Red Cat Racing Tornado that was four-wheel drive that we are trying to turn into a straight line on-road animal. And so far the build is going well. And it actually is a challenge. It's a dual challenge. So RC Guy Garage is doing two challenges. One is a burnout challenge, which I obviously failed at doing that. That was because I blew my pinion. And then Drag Build, which is just DragBug for me. But it's just taking an RC that you may already have in your collection that, who knows, maybe it's collecting dust, maybe it's not, but turn it into a two-wheel drive drag car and see what you can do with it. So anyways, like I always say, thank you everybody for coming, and I am just going to flip this thing around and end the show. Kind of, I guess, on my face. Nah, you want to look at DragBug, right? You want to look at that right there. Look at that thing. That thing's actually looking pretty sweet. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming. Do I want to end the stream? Of course I do. We'll see you guys later.